and during his final years, Zachariah might have owned a $50 such as this one, minted in 1810. Family historians believe that Francis Smith died on July 3rd, 1812. Zachariah follows his wife of 56 years several months later, dying on November 28, 1812. It is believed that the Smiths are buried in a family plot on their land in Wilkinson County, but to date the exact location of those remains are undiscovered. Zachariah Smith, father to 12, grandfather to 86. Loyal citizen to the British Crown prior to the Revolutionary War, unservingly devoted to the Spanish government in his early days in the Natchez District, esteemed community member who earned the respect of the district's most influential men, fiercely committed to his family and friends, routinely engaged in civic affairs, and a pioneer resident of Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Mississippi. Zachariah is our past, and we are his future. Zachariah's generosity towards those in his life is reflected in the words of H.R. White, who wrote in this momentous day, "Each smallest act of kindness reverberates across great distances and time, affecting lives unknown to the one whose generous spirit was the source of this good echo, because kindness is passed on and grows each time it's passed until the simple courtesy becomes an act of selfless courage years later and far away." Is that Zachariah speaking to us? Finding Zachariah was not always easy. I traced the supposed existence of Zachariah's family Bible. I located little except a nice man in Louisiana who thought that a long-deceased uncle saw the Bible many years ago in a small town in Mississippi. I thought I'd found a trail that would lead me to Zachariah's service in George Washington's company during the French and Indian War. Upon further investigation, I became convinced that the Zachariah cited was not, alas, ours. Along the way, I searched for absolute proof linking Ambrose Joshua Smith to Zachariah. Here too, I was thwarted. I scanned many Smith family trees posted on various genealogical sites. I peered at Google Maps of Wilkinson County, and I delighted in locating Smith Creek and Foster Lake, along with Percy Creek. Place names continue to honor our pioneer ancestors as well as an adversary. With May fast approaching, I vowed to staunch the search. Well, mostly. Zachariah's spirit rests gently on my shoulders as I type, edit, and reorganize text. I dare to think that he is satisfied, maybe even pleased with my tribute. William Alexander Percy penned these words in his memoir of Mississippi life, Lanterns on the Levee. The desire to reminisce arises not so much, I think, from the number of years you may happen to have accumulated, as from the number of those who meant most to you in life, who have gone on the long journey. They are the bulwarks, the bright spires, the strong places. I trust that the author's ancestor, the unfortunate Charles Percy, would not object to my quoting his famous descendant in this setting, with so many of Zachariah's kin present. Recently, a foster first cousin shared an unfamiliar story with me. It seems that when he was a young man in the military, and later when he lived in New York, my mother often baked a pineapple cake for him and mailed it to his current address. Cousin Frank amusingly reminisced that on occasion, he and his friends didn't wait for proper utensils and plates, but dug into the lusciousness of the cake with their fingers. He lamented the loss of the recipe for that divine concoction. And though I surely remember many such cakes served at my childhood home and recollect their exquisite flavors with clarity, I failed to ask my mother for the recipe. It is lost forever. I implore all of you to give the gift of a pineapple cake, whatever that may be in your own family, to the next generations. Collect your family history. Share it with your children and theirs. Ask questions of us who are older. Capture the sad and the silly stories. Our history is our strength. Don't be the ones who lose it. I leave you with a line sung by the immortal Nat King Cole. And when I grow too old to dream, I'll still have you to remember. Thank you.
Q&A? Any questions?
Oh, one thing. I have the pineapple cake recipe for all of you. Well, I found it. It's not the same one, but I found one that was acceptable.
Name the three Smith daughters that married.
Okay, the three Smith daughters that married the three Fosters are, for those of us who are from James's line, it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth had three husbands. The first two died by the time she was 24. And she married James, Elizabeth. And her name is Elizabeth Smith Murdoch Brassfield Foster, which you obviously could not get on any form. Okay, so that's Elizabeth. And Sarah married